Just one second here, guys. Let's see. Had to get my computer screen ready to go. What's happening, everybody? Welcome in to the Wilbur and Gold Show. I'm your host, Will Dalton, aka Wilbur and Gold. I am fired up tonight. A little sweaty. Coffee of the night. What is today? Tuesday. We didn't do a show on Monday. Coffee of the day. So last time we did a blueberry and honey coffee mix, but this one's a little better, and there's a reason behind that. So as some of you know, I'm into the whole flip thing, garage sailing, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist. I want to learn Amazon. Haven't gotten to that yet. I do a lot of Goodwilling. Me and my buddy do that every week. Flea markets and that type of thing. Now, we usually do that to buy from Goodwill, garage sales, flea markets, and then flip on eBay, Facebook Marketplace. And a couple weeks ago, we found, or my buddy found and then showed it to me, and I bought it, a Nespresso machine. A 200, we looked it up at Williams, Sonoma, or other cooking stores like it. It's a $250 espresso machine, and I got it for $15. $15. And if you know anything about me, you know I love my coffee. And I just got it up and running yesterday. Finally, I had to get like some type of cleaner off of Amazon for it, and had to go get some pods, which are kind of pricey. So what I've done, and getting many of my points, but it makes such. If you really like your coffee and you can afford just a somewhat decent espresso. I mean, I have been working with a Keurig, a K-Cup machine. I don't know how much it was. Just a basic K-Cup machine for the last several years. For most of my time in college, I had it. Or about half the time in college. I didn't start really drinking coffee till like a lot, about halfway through. And then over the last year or two, I've really picked it up heavy. But if you're so that's what I've been working with. But here lately, I've been getting like more into coffee, like and more into like better quality coffee. Kind of like, just because I was talking about it with somebody earlier today, the difference between a Bud Light and an IPA, like a very nice craft beer. You can tell like the difference. Maybe not so much with beer on the texture because it's the same, but with a coffee, like just the texture of the coffee is different. When it's a little bit better quality, it's more frothy on the head. It's just a better quality coffee. It tastes better. And it's just a better quality coffee. And the more you drink it, you can kind of, it's like anything. The more you do it, you can kind of notice the little subtleties of it. And so, my buddy, he's a barista chef. And so he's always making me some nice coffee. He's got like an $800 espresso machine, $1,000 espresso machine. And I ain't in the market for that. But I did want to get maybe a $200 to $300 machine eventually, like maybe around Christmas time. I wasn't planning on doing that anytime soon just because I got other things I need to pay for right now. But sure enough, I found exactly what I would have been looking for $15. Just had to buy the cleaner, had to buy the pods. Now the pods are a little pricey. So what I did last night was I bought a refillable pod that I can actually like put coffee grounds in, so I don't have to keep buying the capsules. Plus they're kind of harder to find, but these are the capsules in this. I got some just Starbucks, pine oak, maybe it is pine oak brew or something like that. And it's got some of that Cinnamon Toast Crunch cream, or just a little honey in it. And it is absolutely delicious. I'm telling you, if you can afford it and you're really into your coffee, get you whatever you're in the market for, just get you a solid espresso machine, and you're gonna love it 100%. So I can't wait to really start trying some new coffees when my pod hopefully comes in a couple days. So to you. God, that's good. So real quick, this is my bracket in the trash can because, quite frankly, that's where it belongs. Fucking piece of shit. It's just been a year on the bracket thing. So many. My percentage, I think, on the challenge, on the bracket challenge was like 27%, maybe. Might be worse than that now. Like I think this year, everybody's bracket just was a dumpster fire. So there's that. Let's see here. Let me start with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's kind of been in the news here lately because so the 49ers, they got the number 3 overall pick from the Dolphins. The Dolphins now have the number 6 overall pick, so they're still in the mix, and they're probably going to take a quarterback as well, and figure out what the deal is over there. But to me, this Jimmy Garoppolo situation, so basically, naturally, because everybody just assumes that that the Niners are going to take a quarterback in the draft at number 3, whether it's Trey Lance, whether it's one of these other top picks, Fields, whoever. Everybody just assumes Garoppolo has been shown the door, essentially, and that narrative has just been hyped up over the last several days since this trade went down. And to me, it has a very similar, the situation is slightly different, but it has a very similar feel as when the Packers took Jordan Love in the draft last year, and the narrative was, well, there's the sign for Rodgers. There's your replacement. The Packers-Rodgers relationship, it's done. Rodgers is going to be, it's done. It's done. Rodgers is headed out the door. And then what proceeded to happen was Rodgers didn't go anywhere. I don't know if Jordan Love played a snap. And the Packers almost got to the Super Bowl. That's what happened. So I see the same thing here. Obviously, it's a different situation. Garoppolo is not as established as Aaron Rodgers is. But the point is, just because, let's not forget that Garoppolo and the Niners were in the Super Bowl a year ago. Now, I understand that the Niners' defense was a big reason why they got to that Super Bowl, but you can't get to a Super Bowl without a quarterback. You can't get to a Super Bowl without having a somewhat solid quarterback, and Garoppolo is. So this whole narrative that, Garoppolo is being played and Garoppolo, there's the door. Garoppolo's on his way out in San Francisco. He may be. But that narrative is going to be overhyped. It's going to be overpushed all the way through the draft and beyond into the beginning of the season, just like the Aaron Rodgers thing was. And essentially, what's actually going to happen is there's going to be, I don't even want to say a competition. It'll be a low-key competition. It's not going to be like, all right, who's going to be the starter? Garoppolo's going to be the starter, and we're going to know by Thanksgiving what he's going to be able to do. The 49ers are going to know by Thanksgiving what they've got in Garoppolo, whether it's for health reasons or whether it's production. They're going to know by about Thanksgiving if they're going to move forward with him or give whoever they draft the shot. That's what's actually going to take place here. It's not going to be they draft whoever number 3 overall and Garoppolo is shipped out of town the next day. That's not what's going to happen, just like that's not what happened with Aaron Rodgers and all that. Like, it's the same exact thing. It's going to be overhyped. That narrative about Garoppolo being gone, it's going to be overhyped. The narrative about, Garoppolo is being played, he's just being filled with smoke, or having smoke blown up his rear end, so to speak, by the Niners. There's no smoke being blown to anybody. Garoppolo is going to have to earn his spot. He's going to have to show that he can maintain that spot. Very simple. So that's that. Here's something else I wanted to get into that I find very interesting. So obviously last year, Cam Newton, first year with the Patriots. Patriots didn't have much for him to work with. And as a result, you had a lot of talk about Cam, he's done. He's done as a starter. He's done in the NFL. This is it for Cam. Yet, when you consider the fact that he led the NFL in rushing, not just at the quarterback position, or he did lead in at the quarterback position. I don't even know. It might have been at the running back position too. He led. But that wasn't going to carry the Patriots when you had nothing else to work with. And then he got COVID, and then that happened, and that just took everything out of context. So, in my opinion, Cam got a lot of flack because, it's Cam, and he didn't have a lot to work with. He just didn't. So I think he got a lot of unfair criticism. I mean, there were some areas he could have been better, obviously, but the lack of weapons did not help. And I got a funny feeling the same thing is going to happen with Jared Goff in Detroit, because they lost Kenny Golladay to the Giants, which was the only legitimate threat at the receiving position he had. I mean, the Lions need everything. Defense, they need it all. They ain't got nothing but Goff. And the narrative was already not great around Jared Goff there at the last little stretch. He was with the Rams. And then you ship him out to Detroit where he's got nothing to work with. I would make the argument that he's going to have less to work with than what Cam and the Patriots had to work with this coming season. Goff and the Lions are going to have less this coming season than what the Patriots and Cam had last season, I should say. And that whole narrative around Goff and just, he's not that great. It's going to build, and it's going to build around him. And it's not going to be pretty for Goff this season. I really don't think it is. That same narrative, a similar one, maybe not quite as strong because Goff is more quiet. Cam is a bigger personality. Cam is more out there and just on the front pages of everything as far as the NFL. Goff isn't, because he's more quiet and kind of reserved. And now that he's going to Detroit, ain't nobody going to be talking about him, even less than they already were. So, but considering that the narrative around Goff already wasn't good, I got a funny feeling that he's going to have to deal with a lot of what Cam had to probably deal with last year because of the Patriots' lack of weapons. He's going to have to take some of that this coming season with the Lions and their lack of weapons, unfortunately. Now, let me say this. Here's something, another sip of this coffee first. Catch my breath a little bit here. It's good. So I have a theory that, so obviously it's going to be Nets, Lakers in the NBA Finals. We all know this at this point. I've gotten to the point now where I don't even call it the Nets anymore. I just call it the damn NBA because they got every player. Like, they got everybody that you could possibly get that wasn't on the Lakers. Kind of like a Pokemon, collect them all. Like, that's basically what the Nets are now. NBA version of that. They got KD, Kyrie, James Harden, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, for whatever that's worth. But still, it's a good face, good name to have. So it's going to be Nets, Lakers in the finals. I think that this Nets, and I think you guys have probably heard me say this before, I think that Nets, Lakers in the finals this year is going to be the most hyped final we've gotten since Cavs Warriors in 2016 when LeBron and the Cavs pulled that 3-1 comeback. It's going to be that. Not to mention it's going to be our first finals, out of the bubble. There's no playoff bubble this year. So, There's no kind of asterisk. Not that there was last year. There shouldn't be, but a lot of people put one. But the point is, it'll be our first finals kind of back to somewhat normal. Because, the finals will be in June. So there's going to be a higher capacity of fans at this than what we've been getting. So it's going to be pretty hype. Fans are going to be somewhat back. And then obviously the storylines with LeBron, AD, Kyrie, James Harden. So many storylines, so many different things that can be hyped up. And it's going to be epic. This is what I'm feeling on this. So obviously KD, lost to the Warriors. When his last year with the Thunder, he was up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals on the Warriors. Ironically enough, that year that we're just talking about, 2016, when the Cavs pulled that 3-1 comeback in the finals on the Warriors. The Warriors did that to the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. KD, Westbrook at the time, and the Thunder were up 3-1 on the Warriors, and the Warriors proceed to come back and pull a 3-1 comeback. And then the very next year, KD proceeds to go to the Warriors, and it forms the greatest super team we've ever seen. And I would love to see, I'm surprised it's not debated as much as, I'm surprised it's not debated more, which super team, and I guess part of it is because we have yet to see what they're going to do in the finals. Then you can have that conversation. But I'm curious, who do you think is a better super team? This year's Nets or the KD Warriors? I still think it's the KD Warriors. I think they would obliterate this Nets team, personally. But so obviously that narrative was built around KD. Yes, he was the best player on that Warriors team, but he still had to go to what was already basically a super team already to get his rings. So then you go to Brooklyn, where it was just him and Kyrie, essentially, and then the rest, in which they were already a good team, by the way. But it was basically him and Kyrie, and he was kind of leading the way here. Then you bring James Harden, and that stacked the deck even more. Which, by the way, I don't have a problem with this. That's not where I'm going with this. Then you get Blake Griffin. Then you get LaMarcus Aldridge. So here we go again. The narrative around KD is going, and you're already hearing it here lately. That narrative is going to build around KD again, that you can't, you always have to have this dynasty-like super team in order to get it done. You always have to have every star possible in the league to get it done. And then we saw him, tweet out the other day, I'm never going to be able to do anything on this earth meaningful like that by myself. And then Tom Brady was like, you're right on. And honestly, he's right. Like, I love all this narrative that goes around about KD. He's got the best team possible. He wants to win. Like, who the hell cares? Like, so the point is here, I feel that this super team, the Nets, is different for KD than the Warriors, because KD did run to the Warriors after losing to the Warriors 3-1 when you should have finished the deal. That was a little, come on, don't, kind of like if you can't beat them, join them type of deal. This time around, though, KD basically orchestrated this whole thing. Nobody recruited James Harden harder than KD. And I would assume nobody recruited the other guys, Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, harder than KD. And I would assume that nobody recruited Kyrie to come to Brooklyn harder than KD. So as opposed to KD kind of running to an already established super team, KD said, screw it, I'm going to Brooklyn and form my own. So yes, KD is on a ridiculous super team again, but this time he was the orchestrator of it. He was the one that kind of put it together. And to me, that is it. So it makes it a little bit different this time. It's kind of his deal. Because, we've seen LeBron do that every year of his career since his last couple years in Cleveland the first time around, but you really saw it when he made the move to Miami. I mean, LeBron has orchestrated all of these teams he's been on, from Miami to Cleveland the second time to the Lakers now. I mean, he is the best GM in the league, arguably, and he's the damn player. He's the best coach in the league, and he's the damn player. So LeBron's orchestrating all his stuff too. That's why I think this time around is different for KD. The narrative will be the same. The narrative will be, oh, he can't do it without these superstars, but blah, blah, blah. Listen, what's Tom Brady doing over in Tampa? He's getting all the stars back. He's taking less money, so all the stars will come back. That's what he's doing. In today's sports environment, you need to get the best possible talent now to win. What do you think the Warriors was? What do you think the Chiefs are? What do you think the Buccaneers are? What do you think the Nets are? What do you think the Lakers are? That's how this works. What do you think the Dodgers are? What do you think the Yankees are? When you spend money to get talent right now, not build something, I mean, that can work too, but if you want to win now, you got to spend the money and get the talent. It's that simple. So that, this whole narrative about that, and, KD, here he goes to a super team again. Yeah, he wants to win. The difference is, though, he's not running to one after losing to that very team and joining them because he couldn't get it done in Oklahoma City. This time, he set it out on his own to build his own. And that's how this is a little bit different. So that's going to do it. Shorter show, kind of short burst stuff I kind of want to get out there, but yeah, that's it. We're going to get into some Star Wars stuff tomorrow. I don't know what time we're coming on. I got a pretty busy day tomorrow. I'm not going to be home most of the day until tomorrow night, so we'll probably be about the same time tomorrow night. We're going to get into a lot of Star Wars tomorrow. We did a lot of sports today. We're going to do Star Wars tomorrow. More stuff is coming out about the Kenobi show. Got the trailer for a new trailer for Bad Batch come out today. I want to get into some theories I have on that. That's going to start streaming Disney Plus on May the 4th. Be with you. So I want to get into that a little bit. I want to get into the question, could Luke have been could he have been a more powerful Jedi than Anakin Skywalker? That is the question. And we're going to discuss tomorrow. So until then, appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, Wilbur and Gold Show. Will Dalton, a.k.a. Wilbur and Gold, your host, to hit me up. I'd love to get to know each and every one of you. Keep building this community. Until tomorrow night, we'll see you next time.